Okay, today we are working on slope-intercept form. This is chapter 4, lesson 2. You should be following along with your reteach 4.2. Remember to jot down any questions you might have so that tomorrow in class you can ask them. So first, just a review of the vocabulary. Slope is the change in y over the change in x. So again, that's calculated by the y from point 2 minus the y from point 1 divided by the x from point 2 minus the x from point 1. Y-intercept is the point at which the line crosses the y-axis. This is always going to be shown where x is 0 and then y will be some other number. But your y-intercept is always where your x is at 0. Slope-intercept form is always written as y equals mx plus b. The m stands for our slope and the b stands for our y-intercept, which would be whatever that number is here. So this is your b. All right, so let's practice a few of these. First, you're going to work on calculating slope. Again, that is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So we're using point 1 as negative 2, negative 2. So I'm just going to label that as my x1 and my y1. And then point 2 is positive 2, positive 2. x2, y2. So we're just plugging those numbers in, which is where you get 2 minus negative 2 over 2 minus negative 2, which gives us 4 over 4. 4 divided by 4 is, of course, 1. Please remember, when we subtract a negative, it's just like adding. That's how we got 4. So now we're going to look on our graph for the point where our line crosses that y-axis. So again, this is the y-axis, the vertical one. Our line crosses it right here at 0, 0. Our x would always be 0 for our y-intercept, and whatever the point for y is our b. So the y-intercept b is 0. So our slope is m. So m equals 1. So we're plugging it into that y equals mx plus b format. So I write y equals 1 for my m, x, plus 0 for my b. And then we can simplify that just into y equals x in this case. So part B here, we're doing another example, but this one we actually have a y-intercept that's not 0. But first we'll calculate our slope or our m using this point here, negative 2, 0, as point 1. So again, I'm labeling that x1, y1. And point 2 is 4, 6. So x2, y2. So I'm plugging those numbers into the y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1 format. So that's 6 minus 0 over 4 minus a negative 2, which is 6 over 6. Again, this one is simplified to 1, the same slope of 1. But now we're going to look for our y-intercept, which is here at 0, 2. Our line is crossing at the 2 on the y-axis. So again, our x will be 0 here, but now our b is 2. So we have an m equals 1 and a b equals 2. So in the y equals mx plus b format, I'm just replacing those m's and those b's. So y equals 1x plus 2. They eliminated the 1 because it's not needed, but you can leave it if that makes you feel more comfortable. So let's do number 1 together. Let's first identify our 2 points. Point 1 will be negative 2, positive 2. Again, I'm going to label those to make it easier to know where to plug things in. And I'm sorry, I did that backwards. Our points are negative 2, positive 2. They're still x1 and y1. And point 2, we have 4 and negative 2. So x2, y2. My formula is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Y2 is negative 2 minus 2, 4 minus a negative 2. So negative 2 minus 2 is negative 4. And 4 minus a negative 2 is a positive 6. And I would simplify by dividing by that greatest common factor of 2 here, which would leave me with a negative 2/3. Again, that's our m. So now I'm going to look right at my line and see where it crosses the y-axis, again the vertical one. I know my x is going to be 0. So see it's crossing kind of in between 0 and 1, a little bit more than halfway. So I'm going to say that's about 3/4. So b is 3/4. So now I'm filling in y equals mx plus b with my m and my b. So y equals, my m is negative 2/3 plus my negative 2/3 x, don't forget that, plus my y-intercept, which is 3/4. All right, so number 2, I would like you to try on your own. Again, first calculate your slope, which is m, and then use the line to find your y-intercept. Pause the video now, come back when you're finished and check your work. Okay, so you should have used these 2 points, negative 2, 8. This is your x1 and your y1. And your other point then should have been 2, 0. And that's your x2 and your y2. To calculate your slope, I hope you use this formula. If you plugged in your values, you would have done 0 minus 8 over 2 minus a negative 2. So that's negative 8 over 4, which simplifies down to negative 2. And then your b right here is that point 0, 4. So your b equals 4. So your m was negative 2 and your b was 4. So when you plugged it into that equation, the equation of the line was y equals negative 2x plus 4. And that's it.